Hi, it's Elke, and welcome back to my channel. And as you can see, I'm wearing black. I'm wearing what was a part of my old uniform. Not to worry, I don't plan to wear this outside the house. The City Transit would not like that if I try to use it. And I'll probably get rid of the T, so just say New York City. Anyway, I put this in morning. We had lost more fellow employees. New York City Transit is now about 84, if I'm not mistaken. Um, it's just mind-boggling how many people we lost, all because they couldn't get the mask to these guys in a timely fashion before this pandemic got out of control. Oh well, no, I'm not the one who have to pay out that money. What is it, 500,000 to 550,000? Well, now they're gonna learn. Well, basically tonight we'll be talking about why is it we having problems and what could you do to solve this? Why employees are dying and what could be done to correct it. The thing is, long before the pandemic, we've been having problems with the air quality in the subways and, of course, in the buses because of the diesels and the steel doesn't let it crap inside the facilities, but the subways and the buses and the barns. So, this is the thing. Originally, around after the 1966 strike, the employees got a 20-year pension. It was all good and dandy, but apparently some politicians didn't like that. So they started jacking up the requirements and the number of years you had to get the pension. So it went from 20 years to over 40 years. The problem is if you're started out young, you're like in your 50s or 60s by the time you try to retire. In some cases, like what happened in Metro North along that railroad and the New Jersey Transit, you had 3 engineers. For some reason, they stayed on past the 20 years. They could have retired. And unfortunately had accidents and ended up sleep apnea. They didn't know they had it. So, causing a lot of destruction, deaths, injuries, all avoidable. Basically, police, fire, EMS, and sanitation, they have like 20-year pensions. Why is it that we have to have 40? Apparently, it's some kind of a discrimination because majority of the employees in New York City Transit are minorities. Well, the other ones that I mentioned is mostly white. And I'm not saying this to be discriminatory, but unfortunately, this is the way it is. As you saw what happened with the pandemic, the hardest hit areas were the minority areas. Well, where do you think the employees are from? So you have a situation now that you have 84 employees who have passed away, and the conditions of the system is not getting any better. Even though the number of people are down, riding the train, the homeless keep popping up more and more and more. And the homeless, of course, can make the situation worse with the pandemic because a lot of them don't want to follow the sanitation rules. They go to the bathroom on the trains. They litter the trains. Some of them don't wear masks. I mean, unless you're like the homeless that listens to like the Guardian Angels, those guys are fantastic. But we're talking about the other homeless. We're not brushing them with a brush. We're talking about the bad ones who don't want to do what they're supposed to do. And those are the ones that are causing the problem. Since the 90s, the number of employees, police, and passengers being assaulted by the homeless keeps growing up and up and up. And a few years ago, it got pretty bad. You may recall there was a conductor on the number 4 line. He was waiting for an assignment at 149th Street Grand Concourse when some mentally disturbed person for no reason came up to him and started stabbing him. So there is a lot of problems down here. But the solution is simple. Number one, restore the pensions back to the 20 years. There's no reason for the employees to be working 30, 40 years because you want to save money. You're saving money at their expense, but then you're causing other situations because the longer you keep working, especially on the subway and the buses, your reflexes are not getting any better by your 30 or 40 years. And some employees have passed away. Like the motorman George, who had 47 years on the job. He showed up to work one day, he was fine 1 minute, and next thing you know, he collapses on the floor. And he's a lucky one because at least at least his family was around him when he passed away at the hospital. Not a lot of employees are that lucky. From motorman on the G line who just started operating his train outside the station, and he died of a heart attack, to the motorman on 110th Street, tried to save passengers, but unfortunately, because he didn't have a mask, he couldn't survive the fire and died. So this is a lot of stuff that has to be done once this emergency is over. Because I know what's going to happen. They're going to forget all the things we did during the pandemic, and then it's going to be back to making, poking at us and calling us all kinds of stupid names and everything. Because I know how it is. I mean, at September 11th, we were the greatest thing in the world, and then as soon as it wore off, you're a bunch of idiots, you're ripping me off, you're raising the fares, blah, blah, blah. We know how these people are. They act like you're your friend and they're not. So, but the thing is, one, a pension has to go back to 20 years. There's no reason for an employee to be working 30 or 40 years to get a pension. And being now that it is proven that the quality of life for an employee is not that great on the ground or in the buses, they should be reduced to the 20. There's no reason for people working 30, 40 years. And then when they have health problems and you're complaining about that, we know how you are. So this is not a given. We know how you are. Especially if you run afoul with the sick control people. I was starting to do that. That's another reason why I decided to leave. I can't deal with the sick control or, I love this one. They used to have they're called Macs. You're supposed to be assigned a Mac. You go to that Mac to have you checked out like you're a doctor. But instead of sending you to the closest Mac, they send you, let's say you're in the Bronx, they send you all the way to Brooklyn. Why? Because somebody's had a wet dream of having a Mac for their division instead of a Mac for where the closest employee lives. So the employee lives in Brooklyn, he has to go to the Bronx. Does that make any sense? No. And somebody just agreed with me on that one. So, that's one thing. To a study about what's causing the problems the health-wise with the employees. The steel dust, the diesel fumes and other chemicals and stuff, that's eating and killing us slowly. We asked for a lung bill and a heart bill to be passed multiple times over the years, and it never got passed. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous that we are in charge with the safety of the passengers, and we get treated like phony baloney. No, we're not the prime rib of civil service. We're the phony baloney of civil service. And something has to be done with the homeless. And you can't keep giving them civil rights to come in and foul up the system. I heard this Monday things got pretty bad because of them. Foul up the system, um, defecate, urinate, and barf all over the place, causing unsanitary conditions. Um, they think it's a hotel. They can put this stuff all over the place. They're taking up seats. They're causing a lot of unnecessary problems. And we're not talking about the ones that they're that listen to the Guardian Angels. Those guys are fine. They're pretty cool guys. But the other homeless that we complain about, they're the ones that's got to go. And like I said, we need studies to prove a point why we need the heart and lung bill. And we should be getting more money than that. But we're not going to raise our hopes on that because we know how it is with Albany. We're not worth it, but yet we're the ones who bring in the revenue. You saw what happened when the trains are running without the bulk of the passengers. Now the city's worried about their finances going down the toilet. See? And that's why they don't want to shut the system down. Despite the fact that we call for the system to be shut down, they don't want to shut it down because if they shut the system down, the city would be in a ready to collapse. So, if it is more ideas to improve our, our years of employment down here, let us know because we're all ears. But at the same time, the people in Albany and New York City, it is time for you to listen, pay attention, do the right thing by us. And, I don't want to hear 6 months from now, you've forgotten what sacrifice we did and you leave us hanging out to dry. So this is Al Can saying so long for now, and don't forget your stop. Good night. And bless all the essential workers besides us, the hospitals and the people at the supermarkets and the people at the nursing homes and everybody else is trying to keep the country together. Good night.